Good morning, Guardians. Ebontis here with your weekly solo Nightfall. We have Alak-Hul that we're facing called the Darkblade. This is the Sunless Cell strike. Modifiers we've got our small arms, Chaff, Ironclad, and Exposure. In case you guys are wondering what my build is, I'm just going to be running solar just for the damage. Mostly just bring a solid scout rifle for the small arms bonus, and then a sniper rifle for damage if you need it. Mostly you'll be using your primary though. Other than that, just make sure you guys are watching your health. Ironclad, you'll have a few extra shields, so we'll just have to see what that one brings. Keep your head on a swivel with Chaff, but most of this fight's going to be in front of you except the boss room, of which you just need to make sure you keep running around in a circle and staying mobile. And then Exposure is going to be the tough one, so if you need to get to that last boss room, just jump down in there, wipe, and get yourself a fresh shield. But we'll get through this one, and we'll be good to go. So once you come in here, this one's pretty straightforward in the beginning. Just come over here to the big door on the right-hand side and work your way down into, I want to say this is called the grottos, but I always forget the names. I'm just running with Mid and Multi-Tool, but honestly, any decent scout rifle is probably going to hit hard. I use Mid and Multi-Tool just because it's got a nice balance of ammo versus how hard it hits, so I just kind of like it. Also gives me that extra mobility when it comes to the final boss room, which has kind of a nice bonus. So if you've got it, it's a pretty good choice to bring along. And being as it's ironclad, you do have extra shields, and looks like we've got the acolytes running with extra shields here this morning. Now you can have regular hive instead of taken down here, so you could have an alternative. If that's the case, just watch for shields and keep your distance. Remember, your small arms are going to work pretty well, as the shields can be changed up a little bit. Giving a little more things to fight, your small arms bonus is still going to be nice because it will still work through those shields pretty quickly. You're going to have quite a few thralls that seem to be in here. You can line those up, it's always fun to do so. Try and cook them if you can. And then once you get far enough in there to really tick the wizard off, you're going to start having those little black guys, shadowy guys come to you. Yeah, pick these guys off first. And then once you're in here, you're going to have, at least if you have taken, you're going to have a void shielded wizard. If you have regular hive, you're going to have a solar wizard, so bring whatever option you've got. But again, small arms is probably going to be your way to work down, but if you have something like a void rock, it'll obviously make this a little quicker. But if you can focus down that wizard first, that will be beneficial extremely. And then remember, you are running exposure, so watch your health, so don't be quite as cavalier as your health may be at first, just because you're going to be a little less healthful when it comes to the latter part of the fights, just because you're not always going to have your health coming back. So you may think you're doing fine, which I thought I was there for a little while. I'm already at pretty much half health, so as I'm taking shots, they're just not coming back. At least it's not juggler, so that's always fun when that happens. Either side works. You're just going to take care of a few enemies up in the middle. Make sure you're grabbing ammo as you can. Nice, I've got a heavy ammo crate, so I can always come up in here. Now, if you use a heavy gun, I'm going to be doing a little less damage, but you can still mow things down, save yourself some primary, especially as guys are that close. Now, in the back, you've got the acolytes, and there's going to be typically one wizard back here if it's hive, just like that. If it's a knight, or if it's regular hive, it is a knight usually, so watch out for that as well. Wizard's not too bad, but just make sure you're staying mobile and kind of strafing when you're fighting that wizard, just because those solar shots come pretty quickly in a row. Should have a few thralls down below. If you got a rocket, you can take them out real quick. A good grenade toss will do it as well. Pick them off, and you'll be good to go. Gonna go ahead and stock up on ammo, make sure I'm wearing the right boots, which I wasn't. There you go. If you are going to pick up an ammo crate, just make sure you've got the most chance to get ammo as possible. And that's pretty much the first section. Pretty straightforward. Next room is where you'll have a pretty good amount of the fight. This will be the batteries. We'll have wizards on each side. These will be regular wizards pretty much no matter what. I don't think I've ever seen this room go taken. So you should have solar wizards. So something like a solar machine gun, solar rocket, solar sniper rifle. Gonna have its benefit in here. I know I'm running Arc, which is probably a giant mistake.
My scan says the runes draw energy from those towers. If you get me over there, I can hack them and open the door.
Somewhere around here I have a good sniper rifle for this. Oh well. Alright, so if you come down here, you'll have this knight first up in the middle. One benefit of having an arc sniper. Pick him off. Once you get his shield down, pull out your primary and you'll be able to take him down pretty quickly. If you can take him down before he runs away, it's just easier to finish him off first. Pick off these few thrall that start coming to you. And you'll have a couple guys that are hiding. Once you've got those down, if you can pick off the wizards from a distance, that'll save you some time. If you get down here closer, you'll have a few enemies that spawn. It's not a big deal, but closer you get, the more things you have to deal with. I'm always watching all my specials here. Probably don't need that anymore. And then again, if you can take out the wizards before you get over to the sides, you'll save yourself a little effort. Again, they do tend to like to hide, so if you shift back and forth a little bit, keep trying to get your shots on them. They're what you would call a bit shifty. And then when they get their shield back, they're annoying, so. Come out here in the middle once you've got all the guys down. Once you cross this little area right here, you'll have a few more that spawn. Or have one just hiding. Just like that. But you're on Chaff, so don't forget that as well. So as I said, you'll have a few that spawn. If I can hit this. If I can shoot anything, it'd be good. Yep. And again, remember you're running exposure, so you're not quite as invincible as you may feel like you are. Then once you can get a decent view on the wizards, go for the quick shots on them. They'll go down pretty quick to your pulse rifle, or to your primary. And again, you do have Chaff on, so you won't quite know where everything's at. So just make sure you're watching. You will have two wizards, so sometimes they'll be hiding, so just be careful of that. Those wizards are going to start to hurt with their shots coming pretty quickly. And then come up here. Now the way this works is as soon as you scan this, the Shrieker up here in front of you will activate, so start shooting that thing down with your primary quickly so you can get that thing taken care of. Then you've got the little heat-seeking tracker shots. Make sure you jump off back here. And then one nice thing to do is jump on one of these as they move. You can run along, keep moving, and then wait for that explosion sound to happen. Now when that happens, you're going to have one of these wizards that comes over here to you quickly. And then make sure you come back here and you get this thing fully dismantled. So you've got to stay here and let the battery actually transmit. Sit tight. Once you take out one wizard, the other one's going to come to you, so take it out as well. And then you can start working down the knights as well. One of the few good times for an arc sniper. Unfortunately, I'm not hitting nearly as hard as I usually get to. May as well use my ammo since I'm probably going to switch snipers here in a bit anyway, so. There we go. This side is done. Make sure you stay there long enough for that battery to go, just so you don't have to jump back over here. It's not a big deal if you don't, just saves you some time. And then here you're going to have some acolytes. They're typically going to be hiding, so if you jump over and you don't see anything, it's probably just because they're doing their little hide and go seek trick. So. Grab any ammo you need, because what you had over here spawn, you'll have a couple wizards spawn. You'll have a couple knights spawn. You'll have those spawn once you finish this side next. Find your wizards. Try and take those out from a distance if you can. If you get a little closer up here, just know that you're going to have to move and strafe a little more. Just try not to fall off the platform you're standing on. That's always an unfortunate way to go down. And then jump on in. Make sure you're reloaded when you get this thing scanned so you can get a full round into the Shrieker so it can go down quickly. As soon as it activates, take it out. And then once you see them coming to you, just jump back here. And then just keep transitioning between these. Wait for that explosion to happen, and then come in here and start with the battery. As soon as you do take this out, this first wizard's going to be coming to you. If he wants to come in and give you a nice hug, like this guy, be careful. But there's 2 wizards, so there's one more floating out there somewhere. Usually. There he is. The nice thing about standing behind the battery is you can use that as cover while those things are spawning. Gonna have a couple knights here. Take the knights out quick if you can. Obviously not always possible depending on how mobile they choose to be. But I did get one of them at least. Once the wizards are down, you can work your way back. That way you're not going to run into anything that's too powerful. And then if you sit on one of these little platforms, you can work on taking out what you need. And you'll actually be moving without having to move. And then you can try and catch some of these guys coming out. So, acolytes and things like that. So as long as you watch your jumps, these actually can be a nice little place to stand as you move around. See if you can get guys to jump out and expose themselves. Sounds worse than it is. Expose their position, not really expose themselves to you. Pretty sure none of these guys are wearing clothes, so. Now you will have one knight that spawns behind you. Totally forgot about that sword guy, so be careful of him. He will rush you a little more. Oh, apparently it's 2. I forgot this guy. Now it may have been 1 spawn on each side, but once you come back, just remember that's kind of the last thing that you'll have to take out. And as you're picking up ammo, if you are going to switch, make sure you do that. Just an FYI, guys, if you're wondering how I ever switch my ammo or, you know, things mid-battle, pretty much what I'm doing is using Destiny Item Manager. I'm sitting next to my computer, so I literally just switch stuff around on there. What am I doing with that? Well, everything's full, so it's just doing an auto move, but anyway. Can't even use Black Spindle, totally forgot. Using a Solar Sniper, come here. There we go. Alright, Solar Sniper, switch, then you can pick up some ammo. But yeah, Destiny Item Manager, great Chrome extension. I actually met those guys this weekend at DestinyCon. They're actually pretty cool. So, once you come up here, and these doors are open once you've done both batteries and killed all the enemies, you'll know you're done with the enemies as well. So if you don't hear these doors open, there could be a knight or something running around. So once you come up here, you're going to have this phase of the fight. You can use this doorway right here as pretty much a threshold. Sometimes their napalm will come back here, but you can hide back here and do a lot of the fight from back here for safety, and with exposure, it's not a bad way to go. And again, that's that napalm. That is about the only thing that will come through that door. Other than that, you can do a lot of fight from right here. You can push up if you want to. And sometimes you need to, just so you can work some of the enemies down. So stay back here, just work on picking these guys off, and if your health gets a little low with exposure, you can just pull back a little bit and get your health back. And I think almost done. Come on. And you can usually tell when your next round is coming. You'll hear that taken cue. So you got more enemies. Now, as I do have a fair amount of taken, switching to Void would be actually a good thing, just for the fact that I know I'm going to have some Void rockets coming. But as it is small arms, it's not as big of a deal, just because it's not like you're running Specialist and I'm running the wrong sniper rifle. I've just got more enemies to deal with back here. But for now, primary's taking them out. There's one thing, there's a wizard, pretty much you want to take him out quickly. But I think there may be actually a solar shielded guy, we'll see. But yeah, your Scions are going to get those void shields. Or sorry, Acolytes are getting the void shields. Wrong guys. Now the Scions, if you can take those out pretty quick, they're worth it just so they stop respawning. They go down pretty easily with small arms though, so they're not really that big of a deal. Something shielded that's not on Berserk mode. It's amazing. So nice after last week. And again, keep watching back there. You'll always know if you're on that next wave. Here's the wizard I was talking about. This is the one you want to focus on. Tends to like to hide though, so if you can take it out quickly or with some rockets, come on. Save yourself a whole lot of anguish of it spawning all these little devoured shadows. Once the wizard's down, this part's pretty easy. You'll have some more phalanx over here. Some acolytes, just kind of a mix of things up there. That wizard's the main thing to focus down though. And you'll have the same thing on the left as well, so just watch out. If you get one side done, make sure you shimmy over and cover the other one. Not really too bad, kind of running out of ammo a little bit here. Come up here and grab some. This should go down pretty quick. And again, just use cover in your benefit here. If I'm pinched between these two, their shots are going to come from one of their arms, so they're going to have a little bit of a hard time actually getting to you. So you can see he's actually shooting the wall, and just the angle I'm shooting at, I can actually shoot between. Small little things like that just help you survive when otherwise it might be a little more difficult than usual. Alright, this should be the final one. Once you get the yellow acolytes down, you're going to have Ulrod the Templar. He's going to be a pretty standard knight with usual napalm. Just keep using your scout rifle. He goes down pretty quick. He's really not that bad, honestly. Just don't stand in the napalm. As soon as he goes down, though, make sure you go around here and you get ready to hop through this door and go clean over the wizard. Because that wizard is going to want to shoot you pretty quickly, so if you get through the door fast, you won't have too much to worry about. And then just keep running. The next room isn't that bad. You've just got enough enemies in the back where you're probably just going to possibly run out of ammo. That's probably the main factor here. See which door is open.
Finish this.
Looks like we're going left this time. I've got taken here, so I've got some stuff that's actually going to be easier to take out with solar. Probably the only things that are going to go down to solar quicker is these two knights over here. Shifty jerks. Come on. I know you don't want to get shot, but I really want to kill you. Alright, so once you get this Shrieker over here on the left opened up, try and take it out quick. Keep using these little things as cover if you can, just to try and get this first one down. As soon as you take it down, though, make sure you get on the move. Exposure's going to start to be a factor here too. Now I came back here pretty far, but those tracking shots will actually come quite a ways in. I think these got a little lost, but normally they're definitely a factor. So usually it alternates, so I'll have close enemies down here, then on the left, then on the right, and then way back on the left. If the door's open on the right, it's going to be pretty much the opposite. Any type of grenade you've got down there to work their shields down will save you a little time of picking these guys off. Same thing over here. More acolytes, more shields. Joys of Ironclad. It's not match game, so at least you can still shoot them with whatever, but yeah, they're definitely there. Now this knight is still going to be over here, somewhere tucked around where he doesn't want to be seen. This is the next Shrieker. Again, use these little cover. Come on, peek open. Yeah. Use these as cover as you're shooting. And then just watch where those go. Typically those tracking shots will come to you as opposed to just scatter around the room. Like this one's actually coming to me, you can see. And just make sure you watch those shots. It's not a burn or anything, but they still hurt a little bit. So as you come down here closer, make sure you check which side has the Shrieker on the side. Because once you get down pretty much to the bottom of the stairs, it will open up. So be ready to take it out quickly. You can usually take it out before too much damage comes to you with small arms. If you have specialists, they go down really fast, but if not, the rest of them are okay. And again, watch these tracking shots. You'll see a few of these are going to come pretty far in here to me. So you gotta even be behind this threshold, so. Found the knight over here. He's apparently just never gonna run out of ammo. There we go. Alright, now the fun part. You got a few more guys down here for these acolytes. You can figure out how you want to proceed through this room. Pretty much once you get close enough, these will start opening up, and you can kind of use cover and things to take them out at your leisure. But unfortunately, as you have to get a little closer to take them out, you may want to back up a little bit between each one. As you can see, these Shrieker little pulses are going to come really close. That was halfway in the middle of the room, so you got to watch out for that stuff. And you've got a couple options. For safety, you can take them all out. You can run by half of this stuff. If you have multiple people in here, obviously you're going to be able to have a better option of potentially trying to run or risk dying and then still be able to work through the rest of it. Me, by myself, if I die, I got to start this whole thing over, and as it's a bit of a pain in the butt, I typically don't do that. Now, as I'm running a solar sniper, it's probably the worst thing I could use. I'll pick off a couple of these guys. I'll try and get some damage into them. Most of them aren't too bad. It's the wizard who's the real pain in the butt. Then you'll get to that point where you can't see anything. So, take out what you can from a distance. Obviously, at range it's going to be a little safer. Alright, so I've got a couple left. You really don't need to hit that last one on the opposite side of the door. But just for safety, as you're going to run up there, this one's an okay one to take out. Again, once you take it out, you make sure for safety you can pull back and let those shots go down. Wait for it. Good guess. Alright, so as I know, I've got Arc and I've got Void back there. Yeah, you guys can at least see the joys of using Destiny Item Manager. It's kind of nice. Gonna bring in my Void Sniper though. Grab some ammo that's down here, and we'll move on. So yeah, if you're wondering, it's just DIM, Destiny Item Manager. It's a Chrome extension. I think there's an app as well, but the Chrome one works really, really well. I love that thing. Yeah, and I met the guy, and they're actually pretty cool too, so bonus. So once you get down here, you can stay out of line of sight of the Shrieker that's going to be up over here. Probably going to be pretty angry, can't do much to you. And don't forget, you've also got this guy here. Take him out quick. Watch for those axiom bolts. Those are going to hurt. But as soon as the wizard comes back in range, give it a shot and send off in its own, to its own devices. And now's the fun part when I'm out of ammo. I knew that was coming. Ah, plenty of ammo. And there we go, Shrieker Room. So you can be cautious or you can run through that room. If you run, there's no burn this time, so it shouldn't be that bad. But you just run the risk of kind of being in a tough spot if you do die, and leaving your buddies kind of at a tough spot as well. So here you're gonna have a ton of little thrall that come to you. Nice thing if you can line them up with a grenade. Take them out. Have a whole bunch of ammo waiting for you when you're done. And then, of course, if you have anything with Firefly, it's really nice to cause fireworks running here, but you can just pick everything off real fast. Ta-da! Now, as you guys can see, my exposure shield is at about 2/3, a little less. So what you want to do, honestly, exposure is one of those things that just works against you, and there's not really a good way to fix it. Takes way too long to just sit there and wait. Also, when you're up here, you're either getting a special ammo crate here, or as I got, a heavy ammo crate there. So it's kind of your choice. Rockets are not a bad thing to actually bring into this fight, Mostly just due to the fact that, and tracking as well, rockets are going to be a benefit because you have the bonus of, well, I should have done that differently, but take care of that here in a second. Rockets, you can get those quick explosions, you can use the curse thrall in their benefit and things like that. But as my shield is not full right now, what you can do, as you don't get kicked all the way back to orbit, and if you're by yourself, you're going to go right back up top. If you're with other people, you guys can trade off deaths from him. Just walk over here and stand here. He's going to walk out and pretty much smash me in the face. Somewhere. Oh, there he is. Yep. What's up, man? One more. There you go. The reason I'll do that is I'll come back down here with a full exposure shield. That way I'm just not working at lower health than I have to be. You can jump off the bridge too. That's another option, but at least coming down here and grabbing the ammo crate, and then you could go jump off the bridge. Either way, just a way to reset your health. Alright, so let's do it. So once you're down in this room, this circle is your home. Just remember that this is where you kind of use as a point of reference. Other than that, you're in a big circle.
Alak-Hul.
Now, one thing to make note of, you can see my cursor is red there. That means he's actually there. So if you're looking for him, you can pan and scan and try and find when that cursor goes red. His hitbox is pretty large, honestly. Got a big head, so works in your benefit. So if you aim just kind of below his name tag, you'll usually get some shots on his head. Also, as soon as you hear that growl, you're going to have enemies coming to you, so it's a good time for grenades to do their work. None of these guys are really going to be too bad with small arms. Just make sure you stay mobile, and you're also going to be jumping quite a bit. It's another benefit of Meta Multi-Tool. It's going to give you that little bit of extra agility as you're moving around the room. Then once you're up, he's probably going to be roaming around somewhere, just like that. And again, use the middle of the room as kind of a point of reference. Don't let him get too close. If he does, he's going to slam. Just like that. If he does slam, then you can always run around the room and get your health back. It does take a while. If you have something like Red Death, you actually can get your health up from some of the ads. So that's actually not a bad way to do it if you're having some issues. And you even get a few shots on him as he's dissipating, so make sure you remember that. I think I've got some ads coming in. Watch out for the yellow curse thrall. Those are going to be definitely painful, just like I think whatever just exploded near me. Now one thing you can do is, for one, practice this jumping in a circle situation that I'm doing here. But if you kind of fly by or jump by or run by curse thrall and get them to explode, and you can group up some of the enemies, you can actually use that in your favor, just because you'll get the curse thrall to take out the thrall and, you know, double whammy. And if you ever need to like light him up, you can use grenades or something to set him on fire and get a decent view of him. It's always a nice way to get that option as well. And just make sure you're moving, kind of doing this backing up little circle that I'm doing. Now one thing you'll note is when you pull him into the actual middle of this room, if you kind of do a figure eight, especially when he goes into fast mode, it's a way you can kind of get him to, you know, disappear for a minute. But he also tends to disappear when you do enough damage, but you can do damage as he is disappearing. Again, remember, you're going to have enemies coming to you on these waves, so don't forget about those. Watch for the cursed thrall, and just keep moving around. Small arms makes this a fairly quick fight, but if those cursed thrall explode near you, it can be a bit of pain. And that was probably a less than desirable move, going straight through the middle facing everything, but perk of a lot of agility. You can move around a lot. And again, just make sure you keep moving, listen for the boss to come back in, and then look for him. It's a pretty big dude. And the closer you are, you can actually see his outline there. Sometimes he'll slam if you get too close. Now the thing about exposure in him is the fact that when he slams, he takes a pretty good chunk of health. Normally you have you can run around and get your health back. Unfortunately, as my health is coming back extremely slow, if he slams probably another time, it's going to be a little harder to get away. So, the agility with Meta Multi-Tool is nice. If you don't have Meta Multi-Tool, excuse me, make sure you guys are running with a decent amount of agility. Recovery is not going to help you that much just because you're running low anyway on shield. So what's happening is going to happen. So if you run more agility in this section, you're going to need that for the last phase, because he basically chases you, and if you're by yourself, he's only going to have you to go after. If you have other people, you can at least be firing while he's chasing a friend or something like that. Once you get to the last phase, when he actually drops his helm, then you pretty much have to run constantly. So the extra agility from either Meta or both. Also, don't stand still too much, otherwise he'll pretty much be right on you when you spawn. Now here's that other phase I talked about. For one, what you're going to do is get quite a few enemies in here. So keep on the move. Try and get the enemies to go in a circle, but you need to make sure you're on a move. So the boss is behind you. If you can use the curse thrall, get near them to explode actually. It's a good time to get those to pull that trick off. Take care of some of the enemies by themselves. And again, just keep bouncing around the room for a little bit till most of these guys are down. He's going to be on your rear pretty quickly. But what you can do, depending on where he spawns, if you bring him through the middle, you can see his helm is exposed. I've shot his head off. And again, you can see him disappear. If you really want to be cautious with it, for one, don't stand still when he's not in the room, because he's pretty much going to spawn right on top of you. But what you can do is actually pass through the middle, get him to run through, and then if you can do kind of a figure 8 situation and pull him around and through again, you'll usually get him to despawn, and that way you can kind of control him being constantly chasing you. So if you get your figure 8s going through the middle here, it'll save you a fair amount of anguish. Also, don't forget your grenades, always beneficial. If he does a slam, take that moment to get a few shots on him, and then make sure you're still moving, coming around. If he feels like stopping for some weird reason, take advantage of that. That doesn't ever happen. So again, there's the slam. He's going to come around. But yeah, if you pass him through the middle a couple times, you will get him to despawn. So just keep running. I wouldn't stand in the middle and try and get him to spawn in there. I'd run somewhere in the outer ring. Get him on the move to you, and then get him to pass through the middle. And then again, come around. And you'll get him to keep despawning, which is nice. Come on. And once you wait a couple seconds, just make sure you're moving. Figure out where he's coming at you from. He's going to want to slam pretty quickly. So keep moving, pass him through. Works to also slow him down a little bit, because he has to actually work around the pillars, and you can get around those a little more quickly than he probably can. So just keep your movement going. It's one big circular room. He's almost there too. Alright, just to make sure I don't get greedy, come back and come across. And that's a wrap, guys. It's not too bad of a fight with small arms. You can keep using your same weapons and be pretty effective with it. See if I get anything good from this, but I kinda doubt it.
His dark soul goes screaming into the pit between the stars. With none left to lead in Oryx's wake, the taken
Pick up all my
languish,
engrams.
decay, but they will not die away. You have given us time.
There you go, guys.
Time to
It's really not too bad. Just be patient.
dead.
No burns in or anything in here, but if you let exposure get away from you, you'll just be lower health than you expect, and one of those slams will take you out if you're too low on health, so just be careful. Drum roll for anything good. Hey, what do you know? Actually got something decent. Could have been 335, but oh well. 334. Full intellect. Seen worse. It's an exotic if nothing else. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Likes are appreciated. Check out the main channel. Make sure you guys are subscribed for your chance to win a chance at copies of Rise of Iron, giving those away on Zerday. And yeah, I'll get my Challenge of Elders guides out next. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave those below and I will answer them as quick as I can. Other than that, let me know if you guys have any questions, have any other requests as we're getting closer towards Rise of Iron, and I will try and get those in. Thanks again as always. Have fun and good luck.